Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. We started on time. We broke the streak. And we have got some special guests in the building. We've got Al in the house, X, Puff is in the building, and we've got two special guests. We got Brother Derek and Brother Herschel from the Black Comic Lords here on YouTube. Brothers, how's everybody doing?
Good, bless you.
Hey,
Good. How y'all doing?
doing great, doing great.
I'm great. Had a long
I
day.
be doing all right. Be doing all right if AT&T quit cutting the food, man. I'll be all right.
AT&T, bro. I told you that connection, boy. AT&T, they rough, man. They are rough. They are rough.
Man, I might as well have net zero, bro.
Oh,
Ooh, boy, that's rough, there, man. Fantastic.
Yeah,
What's going on, Jeff? How you doing? How you doing?
Lady.
All right. Let's get everything here. All right. We're not going to waste any time. Y'all know what it is. It is the most popular segment here on the Saturday Night Discussions. Here we go.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
But my prices are reasonable. What?
Oh, there they go. There.
All right. Out the gate. We've got Marvel comic book first cover. Right on time, Remo. Right on time, brother Remo.
Y'all done left me backstage for 10 minutes.
Here we go. Marvel first comic book covers trading card series 2. You pick $1,000. So this is the madness, man. I mean, look at that
Cracker Jack box. Is that like a small one?
I have no clue what this is.
look at the crease on the bottom of that card.
Looked like he was playing table football with that thing.
I mean, your choice, he said. You know, $1,000. $1,000.
Wow. I wonder if I go take a picture of mine, can I go sell that for like $500?
Probably.
$1K.
It'd be in better condition than this.
G man, what's going on, brother?
It's absolute crazy, man.
Yeah.
That thing ain't worth 60 cents.
Yeah, let's go down to the description. Let's see what it says. Marvel verse. You pick one. You don't say which one. I mean, you don't even give you a choice. You just pick one. Just say pick one. Nothing about what you get and who it is. But just pick one.
Ain't
$1,000.
Not for no 1,000.
So that means he can make any cover we want, and we won't have the only one. So somebody else can come by and ask for the same one and get the same thing.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
Nope. All right, next up.
Lightly worn. Got sweat rings on it.
It's too much.
See, what they ain't telling y'all is that Keith David actually wore that hat when he was doing the voiceover for the show.
Hey, I can get it. Hey, I can get it authenticated. That's for sure.
Some DNA tests.
I'll take it to the source and be like, "Hey, did you wear this?"
Look at that! Look at that headmaster. Then went down there to the shop downtown and got their hat made up.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no.
Wow. Well, at least we know it ain't. Well, it seems like it ain't warm, but I would never give $2.99 for that.
Hersh, you can add that one to the collection. Yeah, Derek, you too.
I'm good.
These some ballsy people, man.
$2.99, bro. Hey, this free shipping. We got 7 watches too.
Yeah, because they watching.
Yeah, they want to see who buy it.
Buy it.
They want to see what fools spend their money on this.
Hey, we saw, I think me and Jason, Steve saw something on eBay. I forgot what it was, but it was such an outrageous price that Steve watched it just to see who's going to buy it. You know, on the ending bid because it was already at like $500. And I'm like, really for that book?
Yeah. Whoever's selling this is located in Atlanta, Georgia, so you're making it a mockery of the state of Georgia.
Yeah, they probably live in Forest Park.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It sounds like the SWATs.
And the SWATs.
Oh, wow.
All right. Next up.
What?
Get that hot spec, man.
That's a bloodshot.
Yeah. That's a
That's
right.
right.
All right.
What's up, Ron?
It's somebody who
Hey, it says 11/92. What does that say? Click on the description.
I don't even know why you're trying to read it.
11/92 mats, glossy sign.
Wow.
Man, think you gonna get some bread off of all that? You checking for Rock?
I mean, it's $1, $1, $1, $1, $1, $1, $4.
$4.75. $4.75.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, he trying to get you for every cent. He like, this is how much it costs to get it graded.
it's shot.
This is what it is on the census. This dude charged me $2,800 to get this one signed, man. The dude had to watch it and be verified. Oh, come on.
Yeah, this is a no-go for me, man. No go. And he broke it all the way down right here. Look at it. 10 copies, 9.8. Broke it down again.
I don't care how much he broke it down.
For real. You're gonna be stuck with all that.
Hey, look at the description. It says 1992, more movies coming.
What movie he saw?
I'm trying to see what more of them coming. He said, still a good spec, 30 years old. I'm setting these well below what I paid.
Keep him there.
Hey, wait. Stop right there. Your boy said he said, I'm setting these well below what I paid. Brother, we all know Rise a dollar book. So what did you do?
Who is your buy-in?
What did you pay?
And why did you pay it?
Yeah, what was you thinking? He must have bought all of those right before the pandemic hit. 2 days before. You got him back for
And
season
that Bloodshot movie died a quick death, so ain't
That's what I'm saying.
ain't
He
gonna
got
be
him all back.
no more Valiant movies.
Right. That's why I'm like, what movie did he see?
Yeah, he got all those back the week that the movie was supposed to drop, and they pulled it from the theater.
Yeah.
He got all those. He tried to be first to market.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can be the first.
He got left holding the bag. Is what happened.
Next up,
Yeah.
you got 3. Yeah, Derek. This is, I'll tell you, but I'll be finding them, boy.
I ain't gonna get 3 of those tomorrow.
For nothing.
Oh man.
You get to pick through all of them. And be like, let me see. I want which card do I want?
Yeah.
450.
450 for that.
Hey, yo, Derek and Herschel, what do y'all think of the outrageousness on eBay when you see these sellers try to sell this stuff for like prices that be like, who the hell's gonna pay for that?
I think it's I think some people do get away with murder. A lot of times people don't read, especially with the facsimiles. They'll say first Deadpool, but they won't mention facsimiles, and we'll see it. Like what you got on there now, I think that's what X Factor #1.
Yeah.
They'll just figure somebody, they'll catch somebody slipping. I mean, believe it or not, the reason why a lot of folks are doing it because it happens. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, and if you put down there no returns, I mean, usually eBay will work with the seller and say, hey, he didn't provide XYZ information. But I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. It's ridiculous, and some people just do it for laughs. I don't know, people. It's the internet, so
Yeah.
You know, I've had some things that are maybe kind of one-off things that sell for a lot more. I mean, I put it up for a lot and then it sells for a lot. But you know, these are dime a dozen. There's a ton of them all over eBay. I don't know how anybody's gonna, sell it for that much.
Yeah, this was quite the
I think I still think, man, I don't know, man. I think sometimes it's a little bit of the laundering, if you ask me. Like this, somebody puts it up high, they think, okay, well, let me use this bread to go and say I bought a collectible. You know what I'm saying? For an enormous amount, and I can write this money off and wash it right quick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because I think if you put something up like that and somebody buys it, it's intentional. You know what I mean? Like that. I don't think that like somebody's buying that to say their book is worth that, if nothing else. You know what I mean? So that they can go and sell it for more. Try to set the market. Like, I don't know. I think some of these are attempts at people trying to set the market.
Follow is in the building. Is in the building. Yep, they told you. Go get them graded, man. Go grade them.
Yeah, them raw books is going for more than them graded books right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And all those Polybag X-Force books that you saw them all in dollar bins in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, all of them. The
They
whole
still there.
box over there.
They still there.
Yeah. Nope.
I mean, it may not be the Deadpool card, but you can find that book still sealed, man. I mean, if you want the Deadpool card, it's only going to cost you a couple more dollars.
All right, so we got JLA Avengers #4, George Perez, cover painting, quote unquote, reproduction.
Nope.
Now, when I saw this, I looked and I said, "Wait a minute, let me look at this." And I went and I went. Watch this now.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. This fool done silk screen and painted it with some markers.
I mean, brother, please.
Wow. Yeah, I can't trust shit now.
Nope.
I mean,
But somebody's gonna be stupid to buy it.
no, bro. Want $1,200?
now
If somebody buys that for $1,200,
You need to
I'm
go,
fixing to paint that right now.
Now, one thing should be noted, just FYI, and I found this a couple years ago. So in Avengers versus JLA #4. We know a lot of people in a lot of these online. They always want to do the what if Black Panther fought Batman? Well, in this comic, he actually meets Batman. Black Panther and Batman actually exchange words. Very, very brief, but you can consider it like a first meeting or whatever. It's not worth a whole lot of money. I think this set goes. I'm talking about comics.
Yeah, we're not talking. Ladies in the chat, do not go and buy this paint, please. Don't do that.
Do not go and buy that paint. But if you want to just check out the interaction that they had, it was very brief. I mean, super brief. But it was kind of like a nod to say, hey, this is back in 2003. And we actually have this on our website, blackcommonlords.net. You just type in Batman, and you'll find Avengers vs. JLA. I thought that cover looked familiar. But yeah, it's just a little cool little book to have if you're a Batman, Black Panther guy. So,
but to be clear, somebody took a George Perez cover and did their own recreation of that.
Yes.
On some Canvas board. Hey, this is a 101 now. Don't forget that.
Yeah, on a canvas with no certification.
Yeah, nothing.
Trying to get 1,200 for it. I ain't knocking his hustle, but now, come on now.
Yeah. All right. I think Lady Fantastic said, what issue was that again? She said it's number 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The comic is issue number 4.
Not the pain. We're not the pain. The comic.
And you can go online and just, there's I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but there's plenty. If you just type in the comic and then type in read online, there's a bunch of websites. It's bootleg, but it will literally show you the complete comic. That's how I go and check out books before I buy them, to make sure when people say, oh, such is the key book, XYZ, I can preview it, and then I run out to my shop or I go on eBay like what we're doing now, and I actually buy it. So go preview it if you like.
All right. Next up.
Oh, hell no. Come on now. Hell no.
Here's your reaction. Yeah. I saw that and I said, you gotta be kidding me, man. You gotta be kidding me, man.
I got a stack of those, so I know that money ain't worth no 90K.
No. Yeah. So $10,000 a piece.
Wow. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Please tell me somebody won't do that.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Please.
I was hoping Al was on so he could see this right here.
Oh, Al dropped off?
Yeah, he dropped off for a second. Yeah. Gen 13 bootleg. 10 comic book lot. 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, annual one, and took out the one that you actually need. That's the one that's worth of. Pull that one. $23,495. I can think of about 12 Golden Age books I'd rather pay that kind of money for.
Damn, half of the books Black Key Comics sold, man.
Right?
Half of the comics on this panel were more than this.
Wow. 13 bootleg. Come on, man.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll be finding them, man. I'll be going out to the hole of the bottomless pit of YouTube. Here you go. I was hoping Chris was on tonight, but here you go.
23K, huh? 2,000.
Smallville. Season 11, number 1.
Season 11. Not season 1, but season 11.
And 9-4.
Yeah, I see G-Man in the chat. Yeah, I know what you're referring to. He talking about when you go to them bootleg sites. You hit the wrong button, boy, you in trouble. You're in major trouble. You hit the wrong button.
Tell him what you want me to tell him.
Yeah.
Go on, man.
Were they blog spots back in the day?
No, well, you talking about if you go to one of those bootleg websites to check out the comics?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have everything listed.
I'm gonna warn y'all. Don't do it when you're at work. Don't do it in front of your lady because things will pop up to try to see.
They're coming for you, boy.
Listen, the guy that's running the site, he's got to make some money. So he figures if I throw these ads up here, I'm gonna get some clicks for sure. If I have all these half-naked women up there, you get X off of them, and then the pop-ups will pop up. But that's on one specific one. But if you go to just view comments or whatever, none of that stuff pops up. But that one's actually one of the better ones. But you gotta have, it's like going in there, you gotta fight some of those things off.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Kind of like the episode of Chappelle when he went to the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Apollo's talking about that Dawson Creek #1. It's the variant where Dawson cries. That's worth more than this.
Yeah, I hate for your old lady to walk in and like,
I knew it.
Apparently the second print of this has a little value to it. But not
The
first
second print of this one.
Yeah, the second print, but not the first print.
That with books like this, because it's like it's so obscure that a lot. If there ever is a second print of books like this, they tend to go for a little bit of a change.
Yeah, but a 9.4 though.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about this remote. We're talking about the second print.
Oh, I was gonna say
everybody look for the first print of this.
Shit, how much is the first print if a 9.4 is?
Well, this the first print. This the first print right here. No, we talking the second print. How much the second print go?
$9,000 for it.
I see a 9.8. Somebody's asking 1,500 for one. Somebody's asking 2,500 for a 9.6, and then for solds, because that's what you need to look at, right? Let's see. Hold on a minute. Get this.
See, is we tripping? This might be the going rate.
No, not for this one. For the second print.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah. I see it sold. I guess one sold for $85. One was listed for $399. I don't know what it sold for then.
Is the cover on the second print very similar or totally different?
Here we go.
Hold on. Here you go. Here you go. Right here.
Brother Al. Oh, okay.
Keep an eye out for that. That might be across town over there. Over Riverside Drive.
You said that one is going for more. Or you said that was
going for a little bit more, but it's not $2,000 more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this is somebody trying to catch somebody slipping and buy this for the same price.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Now I put that up there for a reason. I know somebody's gonna, I want y'all to think about something right quick. It should kind of stick right out at you. They want $1,500 for that book. What's wrong with this picture, y'all?
It's not a newsstand.
That's one.
And it's not slabbed.
Bingo. How you just throw up a book?
We saw that shop.
Look at the top corner. Oh no, that's
they want a raw copy. So what the fuck? Oh, that's the back.
You thought that was who was selling it?
Hey, we ain't got an old boy with the band.
Yeah, he like, man, if you want this book,
like a raw copy for so much money. I'm like, bro, that's a slab price worthy. That's not raw price worthy.
And then even then, it might be hard to try and get that for it.
What's this going for now, y'all? I don't even know what it's going for now. What? Maybe
300.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was over $1,000.
Yeah.
Early last year around this time. And then as we got closer and worked through a little bit of the recast, once folks found out it was going to be Sherry, it did die off.
Yeah.
I remember buying mine. I paid $20. I paid $25 for mine. I should have sold it, but that was my only copy, so I'm glad I held on to it.
$2,500?
Nah, I paid $25. Oh, probably right around the time Chadwick died.
Okay, yeah.
Before.
You got in early. You jumped on it.
So let's see. One sold on the 17th, a 9.8 for $330.
Yeah.
That's gonna keep dropping. That ain't gonna stay down here.
And the others have sold 300 and less.
You can probably get you a raw one decent for what, Derek? Probably about 70, 80.
Yeah, I'll put 75.
Yeah, you should be able to get one for that, if not less than that, actually.
Yeah, so you go to Atlanta Comic Con, you can get it for about 45.
Yeah.
Some of these dealers be like, they still try and sell it at a high value and won't go down with it. And I'm like, yeah, you ain't getting my business.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, man, I kind of been tracking this book myself personally, so I ain't paying $1,400. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I understand it's retail incentive, but I mean,
Nah, man. I mean, I know it goes for it fetches $1, but I ain't paying this.
It's not slabbed.
Yeah,
it's not slab too. That's the other thing. Yeah.
and it looked like it's a little beat up in that top right corner. So.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's got rubs. So at best, it's a what, like a 9.4.
It's got a little bit of Johnny Gill action going on there.
Yeah. They ain't even showing you the back.
Oh,
look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Yeah.
Good Lord!
Rub you the right way.
Oh, we talking eights now.
So you
Look at that! Look at that! You eights! Look at this right here.
Oh hell no!
Look at that right there.
You
Yeah,
can get a 9.8 for $7.99. I'm sure there are others too.
Yeah.
yeah. It keep going up. So
All right. I put this on here because I did kind of go in the vein of Al. For
yeah,
last.
that shit been up there for a minute.
Y'all remember when this book would go up for top dollar? Y'all remember that?
I'll just drop out again.
Yeah. It was
The internet's jacked up.
Yeah. It was top dollar, $55. You can get this for $9.89. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Down goes Frazier.
Wow.
Down goes. Make offer. You probably can get it for 35.
I'll go low just to see what he do.
All right, here we go.
Nah, bro, that Carnage is
Stan Lee and Bagley.
nope.
You know, I told you, this like the one that, you know, when you tell somebody you collect comics, they just got into it. They pull this one out. This one, it's a triad. This one, I say Luther Vandross. This one in this one in Lethal Protector.
X-Men everywhere.
The other Max Weber Spider-Man, you know, X-Men #1, Night Thrasher,
Spawn 1.
Solo. I mean, they just started this name on. I started collecting. There you go. Yeah, no. 20 watchers.
Hell no. Wow. Signed by who?
Paul Souls, the fellow that did the voice on the old cartoon back in the day.
Okay.
That right there you go.
He passed away or? Oh hell no!
I mean, it's just a case of you know,
on a blank though.
I mean, that right there, yeah, just one little signature there on the blank. That one little any signature right there.
You get a remark by Bagley or nothing.
First of all, most people today probably wouldn't even know that the man who voiced Spider-Man from that 60s series. So they wouldn't even care about that signature.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna try and sell it for that price, and like it's not even in demand. I don't know, like the Stan Lee blank cover with like 11 Stan Lee signatures is worse because that dude was just pouring out the name of Stan Lee just to sell. But this just makes no damn sense right here.
And he just did like a little ass signature on the bottom, like when I'm signing paperwork at work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, here you go. And it's like this dude trying to sell it for racks, racks and racks.
How much is this? How much are they asking?
I think it's 1,500. Oh, excuse me, 1,175.
You're gonna have some completionist, hardcore Spider-Man folks.
I don't even know. Herschel, I don't even know if a completionist would even go for this.
Yeah, like that's like.
Here's what happened, and I'm not saying it's a legit price. They're gonna reach out to Buddy and get that price drop. Maybe because I've seen some people just want because that's the very first voice actor for Spider-Man. You call it what you will have made, but on a cover of a comic book, I don't know, man, it'd be tough. But I would say one of those hardcore rich dudes that's like, oh, I gotta have. He might be like, yo, but he's not gonna get it. I mean, it's verified too. So whoever this guy was, he went through CGC. I believe he is dead. I don't know. This is an interesting one. Definitely wouldn't pay this much, but they would I can see several people trying to negotiate this.
Just leave it up there like long term and just wait for somebody to just grab it.
Yeah.
He died in 2021.
Oh, man, that's kind of recent. It's recent.
Yeah.
Still.
So yeah, maybe I didn't even know who he was. So like I said, I can't say it's not worth that, but I ain't finna buy it. I don't even know who he is.
Look, give me the voice actor for an early black superhero that signed something. I'm about to go at least look at it.
Yeah, when you put it in that.
You talk about Jane Avery. You talk about Jane Avery and Shredder on the Ninja Turtles comic book. We cooking.
I mean, especially if you get the comic that's based off the part 2.
Yeah.
Now you're just conjoining some things there that really make sense. Or if you have Chadwick Boseman on the cover that he's on, you get him to sign that. Oh, that price through the roof now.
Yeah.
I prefer like those photo variants of the actor. I would rather them sign that than the actual comic book of the character, and you have them sign that because I personally feel like the photo variants make sense for you to get the actor to sign.
Yeah.
I don't even think they had a Spider-Man Mango doll. And he didn't, which sounds dumb because this is 67. It's hard to believe that they didn't have a Spider-Man doll to the 70s. But even if you get a Spider-Man doll in the 70s, he wasn't a voice actor at the time, so that wouldn't even make sense. But if you had an action figure lying around that's in a box miraculously, oh hell yeah, I'm getting him to sign that all day. Because he was the voice actor for that character. But yeah, this is a little different.
All right.
Oh man, true believers.
Oh, now this is just what he just said. This is what he just said about the whole facsimile thing.
Yep.
This is True Believers. A reprint of a reprint. Signed by who is that by?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
nah, you can't do it. No brain on. Yeah, but that's all. That's probably all he had, and he was there when Andrew Garfield was at the con, and so he just said, "You know what? Forget it. Just sign it."
Yeah, that's all he had.
Yeah, you need to have True Believers have him sign this right there.
No. Hey, maybe if you click on buy it now, eBay.
I don't even want no parts.
Oh my god! Then they say DVD.
Yeah.
Not even Blu-ray, just DVD.
Yeah, I can't even believe what he's seeing. I just look at.
How much is that in
Is
the
it
US?
signed? Is it signed at least?
And
I don't say nothing about it signed.
Yeah, 11/03/86. Nothing signed. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Let's blow it up, y'all.
This gonna sound crazy. I didn't even know they brought this out on DVD, and I work at Best Buy. I just knew Blu-ray and 4K. What is this?
A bootleg. This might be the bootleg.
Al, your face, bro. That Yeah, the disgust. Yeah, man. Oh my goodness.
And they bought that
Hey,
from
click.
Family
Hey,
Dollar.
dude, click on the description because he talking about regional special features. What kind of special features prompt them to sell a DVD at that for $1,100?
Item specifics.
He ain't got nothing in there. It's just bullshit. No, you know. Slop drop.
Man, you better take that to Goodwill and hope they give him a couple of bucks for it.
You better find a movie stop and hope they take it.
Yeah, no. And they want $66. Well, it's coming from overseas, but it ain't coming over here. So I mean,
Yeah, it can stay over there.
you can stay over there. All right, we're gonna go into our cover price top 10. Number 10 this week. Batman, $655. Number 9, Spider-Man Noir. Number 1.
I need
Who
to
got
start
that
mine.
Arthur Adams Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants?
You said click on
Hold
that.
up. That's the A cover.
This one right here, yeah.
Number 8. I bought that last week.
Well, let's go find out what's going on.
Oh, I know what it is. They
The one
did
that-
a cover, and then for some stupid reason, they got the Virgin variant set as it looked like the trade press. I don't get that. I don't understand why they did that because typically a 1 in 50 it would normally be a Virgin variant, but it ain't.
Yeah, it look like a tray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week one sold for $90.
Man. It looks just like the A. It looks just like the A cover.
Is that the A cover they're showing, or
You got it, don't you, Remo?
nah? I ain't bought books in
got the
a
variant.
minute.
I'll just mess with you, man.
I don't buy no new books. My wife be buying the new books.
Herschel, you got this one here, brother?
Nah, I passed on that in the store. I might double back and grab it.
It might be too late. It might be too late for you, Herschel.
Nah, it's not too late. It's going for what? $100?
$100.
There's a bunch of them sitting there. It was falling off the shelf and stuff. No, I'm Storm like Black Panther to me is super oversaturated. So I purposely I always go back to them, but I always try to get everybody else first. Because that's a Storm overload to me in Black Panther. But I mean that's me. Don't shoot me.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. It's that Marvel train that they oversaturating the market with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've got that Spider-Man Noir newsstand.
Right.
Yeah, I picked up one of those a couple of years ago myself, man. It just happened to go through a box and it was sitting in there. Batman 656. Top weekly sale, 360. Let me see what this is doing here. See, the last sale was graded this week was a 9.8 for 320.
How much is that Raw hitting for?
Raw is hitting at it looks like $70.
Damn.
Oh, Larry in the chat saying that was not the A cover.
Yeah, no, that's what Al was saying. Al said it looks like okay. Let's Larry saying that's not the A cover. It doesn't. That's the A cover.
Yeah, he would know. He would know.
Okay. All right, Creature Commandos still hanging in there. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, number 1. Witches, number 1. The Authority, number 3. Excuse me, number 3 on the list. Authority, number 1. Butterfly, I have no idea what this is. And number
That was
1
option for a t-shirt, a t-shirt.
Okay. And X, you got this, don't you? Superman, Batman, number 8.
I got the black and white.
Oh,
That sketch is Michael Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have the one with Wonder Woman. All three of them on the cover. I have that one.
9.8 CGC sold this week for $125.
I actually got all the DC books that are on this list.
Let's see what this one sold for recently. $100. Okay. So my Jared trade bait.
I got that book for $2 from Earl to Pearl.
Yeah, that's where you find them at. All right. Head over to the CBSI top 10 honorable mention. Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck trade paperback. $50 to $80. Apparently, the deal is I think they're not going to print some work from Donna Rosa. And the other two stories are in this book or something like that. So that's why everybody going out to grab this book. Weird Mysteries number 4. CGC 4.0. $10,000. Pre-COVID sold for half of that.
Answer your question, G-Man. Movies. That's the interest because of the movies coming soon.
All right, number
Movies
10,
and shows.
OBO, MCU, Amazon Prime. The Last Barbarians number 1. Number 9, Invincible Iron Man. Second print, 1 in 25 variant. Basically, I had to say, I had to think about that when I said it. So wait a minute, second print, 1 in 25 of second print. Number 8, Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 3, number 7. Number 7, Flashpoint number 1, 1 in 25 variant. These were dollar bin books. I know that was a dollar bin book.
That was
Number
up at
6,
Dave's.
You talking about
it
Flashpoint?
was. Yeah, this right here. This one. The Dave's that day. That was in the box. That was in one of the boxes.
I seen it. Yep.
In a dollar box?
Yeah.
Yep.
He had a whole bunch of DC black and white variants in the dollar box.
Remember that we went over in the other room.
Yeah, on
comic books.
Yeah,
It
on
was
the
over there.
annex.
If I would have saw that, I would have grabbed that because I was actually looking for that book then.
Yeah, sure was.
I probably wouldn't been able to fit it in that damn box I brought home.
Scarlet Witch number 1. That's a G-Man cover there. 1 in 25 variant. Number 5, Timeless. Second print, 1 in 25 variant. Hold on, let's see. G-Man, what you said? He said, which one was pre-code horror? Was that that was Weird Mysteries number 4. Weird Mysteries number 4. He's going to check in his box to see if he got it. I know he got it. No G-Man got it. Right, like
We can flick through real quick. Huh?
Yeah. Let me go send this on off to get graded. Number 4, the Superman Batman. Number 8, Michael Turner Virgin variant. 1,000. I don't know if this is the. There, do y'all know if this is the old one? This ain't the old one.
This is what do you mean the old one?
You know, the one that the international, the German one. You know,
I don't think it was German. I think they only made 1,000 copies of it though. It's not 1 in 1,000. They only only made 1,000 copies of it.
This
is
might
a
be the
hard
one I was
one.
looking for. Yeah, I think this is the one
because people don't sell this one. People put this in their personal collections.
Yeah.
So you won't find this one too much.
Fun fact: I think this is the last cover that Michael Turner drew before he passed, if I'm not mistaken. So, Avengers Annual number 21, 9.8, selling for $230, $25-$30 raw. And of course, I knew this was going to be on here when I walked out that theater. Avengers 267. If you're interested and you want to pay top dollar, just please inbox me, Matt, Comic Hall Crew. Just let me know, and I will arrange for you to pay whatever the going rate for this is, you're more than welcome to have mine. All 10 of them. Out the 50-cent bin. Superman, Batman, number 8. And that does it for our list for tonight. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to the elephant in the room. There was a movie that came out on Thursday. I know Larry's in the chat, and I know I'm going to hear about it when we get off the air tonight. There was a movie that came out this past week. That was talked about. I went to the movies Thursday night and saw it. I stayed away from all the dirt sheets and I didn't look. I got off work after a long, hard day of work and said, I'm going to relax tonight and I'm going to watch The Ant-Man. Messed around. I knew I was in trouble because I accidentally bought the wrong ticket on Fandango. I bought the 3D. So I was even pissed because I'm nearsighted.
You paid even more money for that.
Even more money. And I didn't even wear my damn contacts. So I'm sitting there looking like a damn fool with glasses on top of glasses because I couldn't see shit. And then I sat down with G-Man right here. You just hold tight, G-Man. You just hold tight. You just hold tight, brother. I'm gonna tell you. Now some folks in the chat gonna tell you otherwise, but I'm gonna tell you the truth.
One in particular.
Yeah. But when I saw that movie, and I have to tell you, man, that was one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. One of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. I know some folks, I know several, I saw a couple of YouTubers say they liked it. One of our good buddies said he liked it. It was not for me. It was not for me. See, there you go, right there. There he is, right there. There go the culprit, right there. Yeah, for me, it was no good, no bueno. Fellas, we'll open the floor. We won't spoil it, but we'll just you give your thoughts on it. Derek, we'll start with you, brother.
Well, I bought tickets for myself alone for Wednesday, and then bought more tickets for my wife and my daughter for yesterday. Pre-ordered those things a month ago. So I was excited, and I just have to say that it didn't live up to my expectations. I actually liked the visual effects, except for maybe the post-credit scene. The visual effects were pretty bad on the post-credit scene. Aside from that, it was good. This is the writing. The writing didn't make you feel like you really care about any of the characters. I wanted to, like Killmonger. You could understand why Killmonger's doing things he's doing, but you look at Kang, and they didn't really do much backstory. So, he's just a typical bad guy, as opposed to somebody that maybe you can understand where they're coming from. I didn't care for the movie that much, honestly. I feel like it was poorly written, poorly edited, probably.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's some major changes that somebody up top asked for, and then maybe everybody had to scramble around to figure out how do we cut this thing apart and put it back together. That's what I felt like.
Yeah. X.
So I not to take a jab at our beloved
co-panelists.
Yeah, co-panelists, but Larry is defending this movie, and in our private group, he said he gives it a 6.5 out of 10. That is still failing, okay? So, and y'all know me, I love Larry to death, but he will go to bat for Marvel movies left and right. But for him to sit here and say this movie was 6.5, which is only half a point more than what Matt gave it, that shows you how bad this movie is. Like, I'm normally the overly critical person in this panel when it comes to movies. And when I saw Matt say he gave it a 6 out of 10, that should have been my first sign right there. But when I left at that movie, man, it felt like I was watching Batman v Superman. Like, Kang. I'm not even gonna say Kang. I'm just gonna say Jonathan Majors did a great job in the bullshit that he was put into. Just like, in my opinion, Ben Affleck did a great job in the bullshit that he was put into. You know what I'm saying? It's only so much that either one of them could have done to make this movie better. I'm not gonna say that Paul Rudd did a bad job. Paul Rudd did what Paul Rudd does to every single one of these Marvel. He was decent. Early in the back chat, was it Matt that said Michelle Pfeiffer did good? Somebody said Michelle Pfeiffer did good. She pissed me off the whole movie. Essie Lang, do away with her, and then the whole Mighty Morphin Power Rangers chick that was running around with the staff and everything. They got locked up. She was pointless. Yeah, there's nothing great about this movie in my opinion. I'm mad I paid to go see it. I should have just waited till it came out on HBO. I mean, Disney Plus and call it a day.
I care about my friend. I called Al and told him, save your money, man. Go watch Batman. Don't go watch that.
That's another thing. Matt did try to warn me, but I was already in the movie theater when he called me.
Run for your life. I text you, run for your life.
The movie was not good. I'm sorry.
Puff, speak on it, brother.
You know, when I walked out the theater, I liked it, the movie, but I knew something was off about it. And the more I thought about the movie and certain scenes in there, the more irritated I got thinking about them. MODOK was a complete joke. They kept taking off his robotic mask just to throw jokes out at his overly weird shaped head, and it got annoying very fast, like
real quick.
I'm like, by the second time I was like, all right, man, just keep your fucking mask on. And then the third time I was kind of like, yeah, his character was to me a waste. I love Jonathan Majors' performance, but I didn't like how his character was utilized throughout the film. And I'm like, I want to find a way to not like him as a character because he's a villain and you're not supposed to like him. But, you know, when you really look at his overall story, it's like he's a sensible bad guy. Like, he's just there just to fuck with time, and that's it. And there's really like no motivation behind it. And props to Jonathan Major for, like, even with the script he was given, he still gave a performance that be like, if you would have gave him a great script, like, it would have been all time great for him, because he really like looked menacing as Kang. Like, the look and the feature, I loved it. And I was like, I hated the fact that he was wasted by the end. You know, when he's like, oh, you know, we're gonna do this to the villain now. Marvel's gonna continue to try and do this with the villain, and then try and cop out with the after credits. Like, oh yeah, it's not over with. I'm like, I want to see the main Kang. That was the whole point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one other thing, not to cut you off, but there's something in Marvel movies in general. Why the fuck do they keep taking their mask off in the middle of a battle?
And we said this previously in the Black Panther movies. Like, Chadwick Boseman kept taking it off in the first film. I'm like, why?
I know who you are. I don't need to see your face. First of all, y'all in the quantum realm. Y'all don't know shit about the quantum realm, and y'all walking around with no mask on. And then y'all flying into Goopy and all this other shit, and y'all drinking random juice. You know what I'm saying? And like
Jim Jones. It went straight Jim Jones. Drink the juice.
You have a suit that protects you, and you're walking around exposing the most vulnerable part on your body, which is your face. Because if a bitch shoots you in the face, you done. I'm sorry. And then y'all fighting weapons that you have nothing about. Like, It's
Yeah, you know, it's another thing. It's another thing too, man. I wanted to see some of that armor, some of that weaponry that came, all this technology that he has, all of the weapons that can take out everything. It's just like I told Al. I said it's just like the way they did. What's his name character in Love and Thunder? Go to God Butcher. You heard about all this stuff that he did, and all these folks he took out, but you didn't see it.
right.
Gore the God Butcher was dead on arrival when they threw Jane Foster in the movie, because the movie was not about Gore. It was about Jane Foster, and that hurt the movie right from the start.
My thing is like what killed me was they turned MODOK into Ultron from Age of Ultron. He had with these lame ass jokes. There's nothing menacing about him. Like
The whole movie had lame jokes.
Right.
I told you backstage, I did not laugh at all. Nothing about the movie was interestingly funny.
Hell, the 3 times I laughed, they weren't even at jokes, and that was in the last 30 minutes of the movie.
I mean, even the way the movie came on was crazy, man. You know, I mean, the first 15 minutes, I was sitting there looking like, "Oh, word! It's how this how it's going down tonight." And it was crazy because I could hear people sitting behind me gasping because they was in shock. They couldn't believe what they was looking at.
You would have heard me gasping too. You've been to a movie with me, and you know how I am when I don't like it.
Yeah, you talking about somebody shifting in the chair.
And I'm with you, X. I could have done without Cassie Lang. Completely.
Yeah, she was so annoying.
And the whole thing with her and MODOK at the end had me rolling my eyes like, how the fuck you say one thing and then you say the thing that completely contradicts what you just said?
Yeah.
Mine, I don't even know what I can say. This movie, it had entertaining parts, but as an overall film, the more I thought about it, I was like, it's a 5 out of 10 for me, you know. And when I walked out the theater, I was leaning at a 6.5 to a 7, like Larry. But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, where was the consequences at the end? There was none. And I'm like, this for this character to come in and wreck shit, somebody had to like suffer at the end.
Yeah.
And it ended up giving you the happiest of the happy endings. And I'm like, the fuck did I sit through this movie for? And they don't even give you something that say, yo, this guy's a threat. Nah, they just dealt with the situation and happy end.
Apollo, you can't even say that though, because Guardians of the Galaxy were not A-list characters either. Be honest, Iron Man was not as popular as he is now when that movie came out. So you can't just call it D-list characters. It's all about how they write these movies and how they portray. So I normally agree with what you say, but I can't agree with that one, baby. I'm sorry.
Somebody just didn't write it. They weren't thinking when they wrote this.
Right.
Hey, Puff, how about that? You know, the scene where Kang's taking people out left and right. Right? And then you got, you know, the Ant family basically shows up.
Oh man, I forgot.
And they're the 3 are standing in front of him, right? Cassie, Scott, and forgot her name.
Wasp. Janet.
Yeah, the Wasp. Yeah, Janet. And he doesn't take him out.
Hey man, I thought y'all said y'all weren't gonna spoil the movie, man.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just trying to save people money.
I just don't want somebody to like, man, they spoiling the show.
Hey, I'm spoiling it to save some money.
Yeah, somebody got to save $14.95, depending on where you live at.
I think it should spoil. Another thing is too, hate to cut you off. Ant-Man was one of the original. He should have been in maybe the first. Some characters just don't do well standing alone. They need to work their way in. Not even a Disney Plus show. They literally need to just be cameos, pop up, and then you get you a big movie. I think they took a risk. Kind of going back to what you were saying with the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was like a great value version of The Boys to a certain extent, but it was well written. It was silly. It was funny. That's why they kind of made it over. But this, from what I've heard, this was horrible, man. But it is what it is, man.
I'm just thankful that the Blade movie has not moved forward. After when I saw this, I said, "Thank God." I told Al, I said, "Thank God the Blade movie did not move forward after this, before this, because there's no telling what we would have got out of that." Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
What did y'all think of the short scene with Bill Murray?
He was irrelevant.
And that's what I said.
I will give it one thing. He got more screen time than he did in the books. I'll admit that.
I was like, what's the whole point of this character?
Oh, it's Bill Murray.
Just to use Bill Murray to get this character point across. Like, this character was irrelevant from the start. Like, I didn't even know who the character was. And I'm not like an Ant-Man reader or something like that. So to use Bill Murray to give this character some hype and people like trying a little spec on this character, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then you see him and it's like, I thought he did well, but at the same time, like, he was inconsequential to the whole movie. It was like he didn't really add nothing.
It was a typical Bill Murray cameo.
But that was the problem throughout. You have things happen in the beginning that show up, and then there's no payoff related to those things later. But you have payoffs on things at the end that really you don't see anything in the beginning or throughout the movie.
Yeah, like
the payoff.
Like the one payoff that was stupid was all these holes. I got holes, and I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hey, thank you, Frustrated Fans Sports Show. Thank you for the sub.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Sleepy Reader, what's going on, brother? We see you in that doc. Yeah, that whole I got holes. It was just, and then the Star Wars feel of that movie. I mean, it was Return of the Ant-Man. Is what they should have named it.
I was waiting for some blue milk to show up.
The Phantom Kane, that's what it should have been called.
The Phantom Kane. Yeah, that's the Phantom Kane. It was rough. Remo, did you go see that mess, man?
Nah, man, that's it.
Don't. I'm telling you.
Nah,
in 30 days it'll be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and that's kind of been my thing, like, you know what I mean. But the only thing for me is I've seen all the other the Ant-Man trilogy or whatever. I've seen the other two in the theaters as well. I only seen a few of the other movies in the theaters. So it's like I wanted to see it, the third one in the theater. So
I tell you like this: if somebody buy your ticket, go see it. Just don't spend your money.
I gotta always spend my money.
It's rough, man. I'm telling you.
When somebody asked me if it was better than the first two, I was like,
"Oh no,
I can't say that."
Yeah, no. I just, just to kind of finish it off. But like you said, those other movies didn't. Disney Plus didn't exist when those other two movies came out, so I might not have gone to the movie theater and watched them and waited for them to come on. I mean, hell, Black Panther's on Disney Plus and I ain't watched it yet. So
hey, get Larry Fire Stick and watch it, man.
Yeah, we'll get the hookup for you, man.
Matter of fact, I'll buy you a Fire Stick, have it where you can pick it up in the Best Buy near you, and call it a day, bro.
Damn, is that bad? Yeah, I'll wait for Disney Plus then, man. Go look it out, y'all.
That bad, man. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I got one more thing to say about it.
Go ahead.
This movie with I didn't mean to say Janet. Her name was Hope, the one that was standing in front of Hope. But Janet Van Dyne, right? Why it's like, why were you so scared to go back to the quantum realm, but you were so eager to send Ant-Man to the quantum realm when they got dusted? If you that afraid of it, why would you even allow him to go back?
Why'd y'all? Never mind. I'm spoiling the movie, so never mind. Yeah, we'll let it go because for me, I got 2 or 3 things I want to ask questions on, but I'll be literally spoiling the movie if I ask. So
yeah, her character was very frustrating in the movie, and I like Michelle Pfeiffer, and I thought for the rest of the movie she did well, but when she kept hiding, not wanting to tell them stuff, I'm like, you're in the quantum realm. You might as well just expose your dirty
Right.
secrets.
Right. They're gonna find out anyway.
Especially when Bill Murray came in there, he started like, saying that they had a past relationship and stuff like that. Like, you might as well just tell them.
I will say one thing. They have gotten way better with the de-aging process. Cause Michelle Pfeiffer looked like she was back in Batman Returns.
Yeah, she looked real young in that movie.
I was like,
Put
wow.
on the Catwoman suit.
Yeah.
Right.
Easy.
All right. It's time for the main event. Here we go. All right.
Hey, man,
That's the
hold on,
go
man.
ahead, Brother Hirsch.
Bro, that was a dope main event intro, man. So if you happen to see that get remixed, we use it on I like it. It got me ready to talk. Man.
I appreciate that, man. That's Brother Al, man. That's Al. That's all Al doing now, man. Al hooked us up on that one, man.
And I like that you got a lot of NWA clips in there.
Real, and you hear that, Larry? The real World's Heavyweight Championship belt. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as we stated earlier, we've got special guests, Black Comic Lords in the building. So we're going to talk about obscure black comic book characters and a little bit more. It'll probably end up being more of a roundtable discussion, as normal as most things here. But I'm going to let Derek take it away, man, and everybody will just kind of hop in and just have fun, man. Just enjoy ourselves. And in the chat, if you got any questions, make sure you ask in the chat, and we'll try to get your questions up. And everybody have some fun. And Derek, it's all yours, brother. We'll get your slides up here.
All
There
right.
you go.
So first of all, I'd just like to say, Herschel and I were both with the Black Comic Lords. We just included something to make sure you know what we're about. Promoting, educating on, and celebrating Black comic book characters, heroes, books, and creatives. So we have Facebook groups, Black Comic Lords, and also Black Superheroes Forever. We've got a YouTube channel. We've got a website, blackcomiclords.net. And on blackcomiclords.net, one of the main things we've done is we've tried to maintain and curate a list of some of the important Black comics, so that if you're out and about in comic shows, comic book shops, you can refer to that. Make sure you have a reference at your fingertips. So, Herschel, anything else you want to add about that? I guess no. All right. So
he got to unmute it. Unmute.
I was on mute. I don't want to brag, man, but that comic book list is the key collector for Black comics. Except we don't have a lot of mumbo jumbo. You're not gonna find the first time Black Panther ate a slice of pizza, and that's the key. We don't do stuff like that. So we section stuff off. Golden Age characters, Silver Age, Bronze, Copper Age. There is such thing as Copper Age, Modern Age. Undervalued books, which is one of my favorite. Keys, Black Grails, and those things kind of change. The more information we have, those things change. But definitely give it a check. Looks like we got over 400 comics, in our library so far. I even have to use it when I go. I'm like, hey, do I have this book? Let me go to run to the website and see if it's there. So it's a really, really good tool to use for a Black collector database. So yeah, I just want to really send that message home one more time.
yeah, and if you're on the website, you can look for the Black Issue Explorer, and that's where you can go to get the listing of all the books. So what we decided we were going to do today is just share a few, somewhat obscure books and characters. Although we know Black Key Comics was on your show a few weeks ago, and he tore it up, right? So we we can't do much to follow in his footsteps. So we're going to show things that are a little bit more affordable and probably easier to find than the ghosts that he put out there.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we'll lead off. Next slide. Okay, so first of all, no show would be complete without talking about all Negro comics. And I know that Black Key Comics, Rico, he touched on this in the last show, but we just wanted to put up a slide on this because this is such a landmark book. And I think a lot of Black collectors know about it, but in case you don't, in 1947, you had a group of all Black people band together to create All Negro Comics, which is a book completely made by and produced by, published by, and also to be read by Black people. So awesome book. And the interesting thing about this is that after making number 1, they had created number 2 as well, but nobody was willing to sell them the paper to be able to print that. So all you have is number 1. Now this book is a hard book to find because it was limited to the Black community. So today, if you happen to run across this, anyway, you better snatch it up. But in most cases, if you run across it, it's going to be very expensive. Multiple thousands of dollars, and if it's a graded one, it's in the tens of thousands of dollars. Personal, anything you want to add?
Yeah, as well. I don't know if you can zoom into this. There's one on eBay right now, and if you got yourself let's see if I can clear it up, $22,000 or 4.0. This is actually the highest grade I've actually ever seen on eBay. You go get you one right now, man. Good luck.
Yep. But if you just want to read it, then there is there's a Kickstarter version that came out it was promoted a few months ago. You can also go to Amazon and get this reprint version. It costs you like $14.
$14. Yeah, the Kickstarter.
Yeah. That Kickstarter is nice. The Kickstarter one is really nice.
I think they're also public domain. I know Rico
Yes.
probably they are.
Yes.
So anybody, again, so with public domain, how that works, folks who don't know, it will never leave public domain. It will always be there. And anybody, if you got some bread, can pick it up and write your own version of it. Also inside this book is the first appearance of Lion Man, which I don't want to say is a prototype to Black Panther. I'll just say there's a lot of similarities between T'Challa's origin and his structure, how he was set up in Lion Man. He is a superhero, but even with Lion Man, you're going back to 1947. He's not even the first Black superhero. But this was a mainstream comic. A lot of people say, well, this was independent. This was a mainstream. This set on shelves right next to white books, Superman, Batman, and the whole nine. So that definitely needs to be noted. A lot of these, what people don't understand about how the Golden Age worked is everybody was fighting for supremacy in those days. Everybody wanted to be the big 3, but there was no big 3. Everybody was fighting for that. So dope book to have. Definitely going to pick this up if he got some a trust fund set up. So I don't know.
I covered this book a few years ago when I did my 28 Days of Black Comic Creators. And, I was looking up creators, and All Negro Comics was one. So I specifically focused on Orrin Evans because that was like the name that popped up, and the other names I mentioned in my post. But, I detailed how, he and these Black creators, came together to form this comic and come up with these, various stories for it and selling it in the Black community and stuff. And it was very interesting doing that research and looking up, like some of the stories inside it and the problems they had running into, like trying to get issue 2 printed, but they couldn't because of the vendors. And, it was a fascinating study when I did that whole 28 Days of Black Comic Creators and going over this particular book.
All right. You want to move on to the next slide there, Derek?
Yeah, we'll go to the next one.
All right. Anybody got anything else you all want to say about All Negro Comics outside of we can't afford a regular copy?
Hey, that's all you need to know.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Oh, so we all know that Black Key Comics tackled this last week. I'm not even going to stay long on this. But there's something very, very interesting about this book. Nothing that makes it a key. It's just something that just makes it interesting. I throw that word out a lot. So Saber, I'm pretty sure Rico covered that this is the first graphic novel ever, 1978. Now, right now, you can go buy this book for $16. This book used to be over $100 a couple years ago. You go buy this book I saw one, Derek, I sent it to you. I'm about to drop it in the Black Comic Lords Facebook group. Well, you can buy this book for $16 now, but make sure you get the first print. Now, the same person who wrote the first Black Panther run, Jungle Action run, was Don McGregor. He also wrote this. This has a black protagonist. Also, after that, in the 80s, they had an actual Saber run. I think that ran 14 issues. And actually just ran shy of how, because Black Panther at the time, with his run with Jack Kirby, that was the longest running black comic book ever. This fell short by a couple of issues. Go to hit the next slide. Now, the interesting thing about this, if you go to the first panel to the right, I don't know if we can blow it up. It's very, very fun. I want y'all to follow me on this one. It says America, February 2020. The end, as some came to call it, began with a whimper of world famine. And it just basically talking about how the world was like shutting down. Well, what happened back in February of 2020? That's when COVID hit. And so it's not a lot of similarities, but it's just interesting. February 2020, talking about famine, talking about how the world was in chaos and we were basically in chaos, things were shut down. I just thought that was real interesting. And this book was written back in the 80s, and it's kind of slightly foreshadowed some stuff that was happening at the exact date, at the exact time. Now, obviously, you know that COVID actually hit over in Asia back in 2019, but it didn't really make over into America until February, March-ish. This for me, because they told me to go home in like February and March, so that's when we know it was really, really shut down. But old friend of mine, actually, this is actually a poster. It's black and white that if you find on eBay, the picture on the left, it says Saber with the knife and the gun. Make sure you pick that up because that's very rare. It doesn't pop up very often on eBay. But like I said, Black Key Comics already kind of covered this, so I just want to show that little tidbit. Get next slide.
All right, I'll take this one. So, not a comic book, but comic strip. I just wanted to talk about Speed Jackson, which was written by an artist and writer named Jay Jackson. That's him on the right. And this comic strip was featured in the Chicago Defender. Really interesting because Jay Jackson was he grew up in a pretty well integrated community in Ohio, and he wrote a lot of very anti-racist material. So all of his writings are tinged with anything and everything he can do to speak out against racism. And for Speed Jackson, the interesting thing about this is once the run started, there was a storyline involving this country in Africa, or an area in Africa called Lostoni, and that was basically an African nation that's secluded from the rest of the world, with very smart and very technologically advanced people in that country. So what does that sound like to you? Sounds like Wakanda, right? Mm-hmm. So just is really interesting. So did Stan Lee get that concept of Wakanda from Speed Jackson's comics? Good question. So if you go to the next page, this is a few panels from when Speed Jackson actually showed up in Lostoni. So as you can see here, I think he's meeting the king of Lostoni, and his name is Sakrita, I believe. And he also meets the king's daughter. She looks kind of, or it's not, no, that's the handmaid there. He ends up meeting a lady there. And there's a love story, I think, between the two of them, but that's not featured in this panel. But I just think this is very interesting because I think these comic strips are pretty hard, if not impossible, to find today. If I could ever get my hands on one of these, I would just love to have a copy. So this specific storyline for Lostoni started in 1942, I believe.
Wow.
So this is some nice artwork here, man.
Yeah,
Really nice.
yeah. Now, another thing, Speed Jackson in the Chicago Defender, that comic strip and another comic strip would run together. So, and you can actually find this book here. It just came out, I think, last year. It's or late last year. Bungleton Green and the Mystic Commandos. So, at this point in time, around World War II, you have all these stories of these groups of commandos, and it's usually children or the commandos usually. And Jay Jackson created his own group of commandos led by Bungleton Green, who is a black superhero. And Bungleton Green actually was probably one of the first black superheroes, at least the first one to show up in a comic strip, as I've read in my research. So really interesting here. So if you want to learn more about Bungleton Green, it's an Afro-futuristic tale as well. You can grab this book. A lot of good strips.
Hey, Matt, blow them up so we could get a better look at the book.
All right, hold on just a second. Let me back. Sorry about it. Back out of here. All right, do it this way. Yeah. All right, there we go.
There you go. So I have not actually read the book yet. I'm gonna crack it open very soon. But I'm really interested in reading it and learning more about Bungleton Green.
Nice.
All right. If we go back to the slide here. All right. Let me blow it back up here.
Okay.
All right.
So I think that's all for that one. If we want to move
All
on,
right.
unless anybody has any other comments.
I just, I pulled out while y'all was talking Saber. I pulled out the one that I have.
Nice. What number is that?
Number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah. I had picked this up a couple of years ago. And I'll funny story, what intrigued me about the book, because I never heard of Saber until I looked it up afterwards, but I picked it up because the lead character reminded me of Fred the Hammer Williamson, in one of his movies in the 80s, and I was, I'm a big Hammer fan of blaxploitation and stuff like that. So I picked it up based on like New Barbarians and stuff. But I read it and it was quite fun. And I picked up a few other Saber issues from that run, but
That's nice.
It's funny because at first, the first photo that we had up, the first slide, that dude Saber looked just like Michael Jai White. Go back, that one.
On the left.
Yeah.
He looked just like Michael Jai White and Black Dynamite, so I thought that was cool.
But that one, the actual comic book, he had to have taken Fred Williamson to say, "Hey, this is what I'm going to use." But yeah, that absolutely Michael J. White on that one. But I want to make mention of this. I ain't gonna stay long on it. So back to All Negro Comics. Like in Speed Jackson, you gotta get the inspiration about the Hidden City, and that ain't the first time that's happened. Well, yeah, that's not the first time that's happened. I'll have to swing it by y'all again. But in Lion Man, his job was to protect the Magic Mountain, which was the world's largest supply of uranium, kind of like with the vibranium. So it's just people just really swapping out stories. So I just thought that was just interesting to note on Negro Comics how there's really nothing new under the sun, and people just kind of reinterpret and switch stuff up. It's all good, but I just wanted to say that. You keep going there.
All right. So another, this is just a book I'd highly recommend. It's called Invisible Men. It's written by Ken Quattro, and he's basically a comic book historian. So he talks about and profiles several of the black creators in this time period in time where, for the most part, no matter what work they did, they're not going to get credited for it. So what did they do to get along? And it's interesting to see the different things that some folks would do. Like, for example, you have I forgot, there's one guy who actually was able to pass for white, and he actually became a racist against black people in order to actually get by, which is horrible. But that's
What's my man's name on
Bigsby? I already know you're talking about.
Clayton Bigsby.
Let's see, what was his name?
Clayton
Bigsby. Remember he was blind.
No.
He was a
No.
black man who thought he was white, was a white supremacist.
No. This guy's name was Adolphus Barreau
Man.
Grippon. So it's interesting.
But I'm not trying to cut you off, but what kind of cold mug do you gotta be? Are you willing to be a racist against your own people just so your fuck ass can survive? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be a cold one. You gotta be a cold.
Powerhouse Coonan.
Let me tell you something.
The sad thing is we can't call it cooning because the man was trying to survive.
Yeah,
trying to get it out there for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the challenge. Everybody's trying to survive. I don't agree with the thing he did, but
I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you got to be a cold soldier, boy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, let them would have found out he was messing with a white woman back in the days.
Oh my God.
They would have just cut his head off, man.
Yeah, they would. He wouldn't have lasted 2 minutes.
And but the
Yeah,
sad
to be
thing
on point.
is, what the sad good thing about this though is if he wouldn't have did what he did, we wouldn't be here talking about it right now.
No, that's
You
what
know
I'm saying.
So
You got
that's
to be a cold one.
that's
To
a
even
huge part of
consider
it.
doing something like that, you got to even be forward thinking and just be like, I'm gonna be a sick savage for like these next 10 years, and I'm gonna maneuver through here. And hopefully, everything gonna be different at the end, and then I'm gonna just whammy on them or something. Because you gotta, oh my God, you gotta maneuver through some cold, sick shit for a minute until the sky parts. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
just imagine what he endured. You know what I'm saying?
that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I could. I don't know, man. I probably would have gave my. I'd have gave myself up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know I would have.
There's no way I could have been just sitting back.
I wouldn't survive more than a day. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh hell,
Yeah, I'm good.
yeah, I can't sit back for that.
All right, Derek.
So, and in this book, I think he profiles maybe 14 different black creators. So it's a good book. A lot of people's work that's just hidden just behind the pages of these books. So it's a way to give them flowers and to make sure we all remember, where our creators of today, came from. All right. All right, Herschel.
Man, so DC The New Frontier #3. First appearance, this is the ancestor. So all the books I'm gonna show is gonna be again El Cheapo Domingo. These are books you can buy tonight and you ain't gonna miss it, right? It ain't gonna hurt your wallet. These are just fun books, not necessarily keys, but they are still obscure characters. So we all know John Henry, which is Steel. Now this is his ancestor. This is the original Steel. And this book came out in 2003, so it's like a retcon. Definitely, if you read issue 4, the N word is dropped. I don't actually have that slide, but it's pretty brutal. But go ahead and hit it there. So this is the way. This is how he looks. I always wondered if John Henry made it to a comic book, and he actually did in the 90s because I know he was a folk hero. Here he's fighting the Klan. He's got some kind of makeshift armor. He's got a noose around his neck. He doesn't really have an origin story, but they are bringing him back DC New Frontier. But a dope character. Again, this is DC New Frontier number. Go back, I think it's 3 or 4.
3.
Yeah, definitely go and pick this up. He won his first appearance. He's in this. He bust some skulls in this one.
Hey, Herschel, is he coming back dressed like that in the new one?
He actually is.
What was Buddy from Watchmen name? The one that was supposedly Louis Gossett Jr.
The Hangman or something. They had to be the Hangman.
Yeah, forgot his name.
Hold on. You talking about for the TV show?
Yeah, from the TV show.
Yeah, I don't know that brother. That brother. How can I say this? I don't know if he even. I don't know.
Was it Hooded Justice?
Hooded Justice. It was Hooded Justice. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
He was about to go in on him. He said that brother. He was trying to collect his words. And you saved him.
No, the family show, man. So, but y'all all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, next slide.
next slide.
Yeah, here
All
we go.
right. All right. So
Well,
this
this
is a golden age book here. Is Weird Fantasy number 18. And the reason this is an important book from a black perspective is because, well, first of all, Weird Fantasy is an anthology type of series. So in this comic book, I think there's 4 separate stories. But the very last story in this book is called Judgment Day. And it has a story in which this astronaut from representing the Galactic Federation lands on this planet inhabited completely by robots. And he's here basically to audit them to see if they're civilized enough to join, the broader community of planets. So as he's inspecting the place, he sees, first of all, a factory where the blue robots are made. And he's asking questions about the society. Everything looks kind of good, but pretty soon he starts to see signs of maybe some cracks, some chinks in the armor. So, for example, he starts to realize that there's orange robots too. Orange robots are made in a different place, and they live in different places, and they have the more menial jobs. Even though when he asks the blue robots, he's like, well, aren't you all created the same? We absolutely are. It's just the shield on the outside, whether it's a blue shield or an orange shield. So at the end of the story, he basically determines, look, guys, you're not ready to join. You're not ready to join. You're not civilized enough. So he leaves them. Robots are upset. He's like, you guys got to keep working on it because they've instituted a racist society. So the reason why this book is so noteworthy is because when he gets on his spaceship, and the very last panel, he removes his helmet and he's a black man. So think about this. In 1953, you've got an astronaut with a high level of status talking like this to people on another planet, and he's a black man. And most of the comics you'd see back then, you're gonna have a stereotypical view of black characters as opposed to an archetypical view. So this is a really important book because it kind of I think it really trolled the readers for a while.
I was just
right?
going to say, Derek, I think that whole Clayton Bigsby deal, somebody was reading that book, and they got to the end of it, boy, and their head exploded just like on Chappelle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
God damn it!
Well, so when I was watching you discuss this on Near Nirvana, the thing that had me crack a joke a bit was how EC quit and formed Mad Magazine, and I'm like, yeah, they went mad over this whole thing with that final panel, and they took it to somewhere else.
Yeah. So what happened was so EC Comics wrote, they wrote this story. They tried to reprint it. If you go back a page, they tried to reprint this in Incredible Science Fiction number 33, which is 3 years later. When they tried to do this, the Comics Code Authority was now in place, and they were saying, no, we're not going to let you print this. We're not going to let you do the story. So they go back and forth, and finally they say, well, you can do the story, but don't make the astronaut black. And then finally they say, well, you can make the astronaut black, but don't put sweat on his face. And the EC guys say, we're doing what we want to do. But shortly after that, they did go out of the comic business and started Mad Magazine. This book was one of the reasons for that. So, yeah.
Madness.
Another question you got to ask yourself is who the hell programmed those robots to think like that? Clayton Bigsby.
Yep.
That's who programmed Clayton Bigsby. Had to be. But even with AI today, I use AI art. So if anybody, you can shoot me some hate mail against AI art. But if you type certain things in, they're pre-programmed to look at Jesus a certain way, heroes a certain way. If you don't add in the hero, the default character is always going to be white. So they're programmed to think like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just a great anti-racist story. I feel like this book would be worth even more, but the cover is just not a good cover. This is pre-code.
Or they don't know what's in it.
Sorry, get echo. It's pre-code. It's golden book. So great book to have if you can find it.
Or if they knew it was in it, though. If they knew it was in it, they would probably buy it.
So
All right.
this is a very, very interesting book. This book, if you can tell by the cover, basically whoever wrote this or drew this was tripping. Was on probably some drugs. You got a gorilla with a cybernetic eyeball. This is a wild story. Now this is a superhero comic book. This is her name is Selima. This is the first black woman to ever, the first black superhero to ever star in her own series, because there was actually 2 books to this. Before this, the best she was going to do was have Super Bitch. You guys familiar with Super Bitch, the comic, the superhero? Well, maybe next time we're on, we'll show you guys that one. That was the first black woman to superhero to actually have her own story. It was a one-shot, and it was during the black exploitation. So she was looking really, really slutty. It was weird. But this one right here, she had superpowers. She was like a mystic. This came with 3D goggles. I actually have the books, and when you open up go ahead and hit the next slide. It's blurred out because when you put on your glasses, obviously it pulls things together in a 3D form. But this book is highly overlooked because this is the first black woman. This is 80. I think it was 80.
85. I think it's 85 on the.
Dude, I had this.
It's earlier than that. It's like 87 or 86 or something like that. So it's an earlier book. When I say earlier, no, I'm not talking Silver Age, but they didn't start doing black folks, really some serious justice. White folks, like really to 60s and the 70s. So this is the 80s, but after this, you would have Captain Marvel in her own run, and then you would have Storm. You would also have there was some black independent artists that just literally just did one shots, but she was able to actually get 2 issues out. Now, 2 white guys did. I think one of the guys died a couple of years ago, but this is a cheap book to go and buy, and it's a key book. It's the first time a black woman has ever starred in her own series. So dope book to have. I got a copy. Make sure you get it with the glasses, or it will lower the value of the book. Make sure you get the 3D glasses that come with it. There might be another slide in this there, or am I done? Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I bought that book off the rack, man.
Who's the author? Somebody asked in the chat, who was the author on this?
First slide on the book. My Paul Chadwick and Steve Perry.
Okay.
Yeah. One of those guys are dead. Just died recently.
Go ahead, Remo. You were saying you had this book, brother?
Oh yeah, I had it. I bought this shit off the rack, man. I remember this shit. And it was just, I didn't think nothing of it until he mentioned it now. Like, I doubt I have it anymore, but I remember buying this book off the rack.
So this one is story by Steve Perry, art by Paul Chadwick, Tom Palmer, and Bruce Patterson.
All right.
Yeah, my video store used to have an account with that Blackthorn or whatever, publishing or whatever. And he used to always have their books on this shelf, and I would buy them. Remember that Crow of the Bear Clan book, and you didn't think I had it, and I busted that shit out? That was from that same publisher.
Yeah.
All right. So this next one is Silver Surfer number 5. It is a stretch to say that it's an obscure book, but it was a lot more obscure a few weeks ago than it is today. So Silver Surfer 5 is the first and only appearance of Al Harper. He is a black man who helps out Silver Surfer, and in the process he saves the world, but he dies doing so. So it's a great story. I've got a few panels just to show a little bit more of the story here. So in this story, Silver Surfer first of all falls to Earth, and Al Harper, you can see him. He kind of nurses him up. He takes him back to his house. You can look at the way Al Harper is drawn. Look on the panel on the right. He's drawn in your typical hero type of form, right? He's a big dude, and looks like a hero. You come to find out that he is a big time brain in terms of a lot of science capabilities. I can't remember all of them, but he's got a lot of degrees. So Silver Surfer needs help breaking through this galactic barrier, and Al Harper says, well, I can help you, but I don't have money to get the stuff I need to build this for you. So why don't you go out and try to get some money? I'll stay here and start working. So Silver Surfer actually goes out in the real world, starts interacting with people, trying to get jobs, and this is where he figures out what it's like to be in a place where you don't look like everybody else, and you're trying to just make it. So there's a whole section of this book where Silver Surfer is trying to get a job and nobody's wanting to hire him. He eventually gets caught up with some criminals, and through that ends up getting money. He comes back. Now Al Harper's able to build this device for him, and the Silver Surfer is confronting the Watcher, who's like the main enemy of this story. Meanwhile, Al Harper is trying to find a device that the Watcher has left on Earth somewhere that's going to destruct and destroy the Earth. So Al Harper finds this device. He is able to disarm it, but it's also booby trapped. So there's a mist that comes out that kills Al Harper. So as a result, Al Harper dies. But for his sacrifice, and because Al Harper helped Silver Surfer out, Silver Surfer is so touched that he leaves an eternal flame at Al Harper's unmarked grave. So that's kind of where things leave off at Silver Surfer number 5, which was written in 1969. Now, the reason why I said this is not as obscure as it might have been a few weeks ago is because Silver Surfer Ghostlight came out 2 weeks ago, and that's a new series in which Al Harper is basically brought back to life. So somebody created by Stan Lee 54 years ago is brought back to life in Silver Surfer Ghostlight, and now you get to see his family. You get to see Al Harper, who's going to now have superpowers, nano powers, and he's a cosmic type of a hero. And the story issue number 2 comes out in a few weeks. I think end of February or beginning of March. Next page shows Silver Surfer Ghostlight. But one more page. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So something else interesting from a speculation perspective, I think issue number 1 is probably just going to be his cameo, and I would assume therefore issue number 2 will be his first full appearance. So
as the Ghostlight or whatever.
As Ghostlight, yes.
Yeah, because you would want to get that other one, the one you just showed, right?
Mm-hmm. And the cover. Sorry, go on.
No. I was gonna say the Silver Surfer 55 is probably the one.
Yeah, well, that's being the first appearance of Al Harper. That's a good book, but honestly, it hasn't gone up that much in value. It's not super expensive, especially compared to some of the other early Silver Surfer books. Other thing I'll mention is that. Oh yeah.
There's tons of sales. You said Silver Surfer 55. I just want to make sure everybody knows it's Silver Surfer
number 5. Yeah.
5. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, so I've got one of those. It's a 9.2 of it. And then one other thing I'll mention is cover A of number 2 of Silver Surfer Ghostlight is a pretty nice cover because it's got Ghostlight punching Silver Surfer and knocking him off of his surfboard. And also, if that's going to be the first full appearance of Ghostlight, then it might be a decent book to have.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Get all 3 of them.
Wow. So I pulled this one out of the hat last minute. So this is 1964. You got Jim Barker, a military hero that helps Captain America. This is back when Iron Man and Captain America were sharing titles. Now this is very, very early for a black hero. Next slide. So basically, he's actually going there to get them out, but also his brother is being held captive. And again, they used to draw black people really funny back in those days. He's actually blessed not to actually be colored in gray, because that's how your boy, Sergeant with Nick Fury and Sergeant Fury, I forget his name. What's the Black Army guy that was always booed? Gabriel. He was drawn gray when he first appeared. This guy's actually drawn brown skin, so he actually aids and helps out Captain America in this issue. But he's extremely obscure character. You actually never really see him again. So if anybody needs to be resurrected, it's definitely him. So Captain America breaks him out, and then he kind of helps out Captain America, hops in the jet, and they fly up out of there. But a really, really good story. Cap fights this oversized sumo wrestler from China, and cool story. Very, very obscure character. Jim
Yeah,
Barker.
they drew the Asian dude bad, boy.
Yeah, real bad.
Yeah.
Hirohito, huh?
All right. So this next one, War of the Independence #2. So I'm guessing you might have heard of the Rule of Three, and in an interview that Herschel did a few, I guess, about a year ago, you know, he got some confirmation that the Rule of Three is a real rule, which is, you know, comic book companies are very reluctant to have more than 3 black characters on a cover. So this book definitely broke that rule. So War of the Independence, and as far as we know, has the record for the most black characters on the cover, and I forget the count right now. But it's also a pretty low print run, only 1,500 printed, and this is back in 2012. So in the Black Comic Lords community, you know, we just started really paying attention to that because of the number of black characters on the cover. So who knows? Look around when you're in a show. Herschel's showing this is another interesting thing about the book.
Yeah.
This book, okay, you can switch to me. So this is the same book. So this is the front cover, and Herschel showed the back cover. They both look like a front cover though. So very interesting. The back cover is blue. It's just, you know, if you turn it around that way, turned upside down.
These aren't just your run of the mill. These are like some of your big boys, like Lucius Hammer. You got Dreadlocks that came out like I think 2000. Most of these guys are from 2000. So it's a lot of notable black supers that's been probably like 95.
Let's go to the next page. If we go to the next page, there's the list that I included.
Okay.
So you can see all the characters in this book. One more page. I'll do it. I'll slide it over. Okay, so you can see this list of all the characters from the different series. So you got Dreadlocks, you got War God, you got Blackjack, you got Shadowhawk, Captain Africa, Quick. The list goes down. You even have Chuck D and Flavor Flav in this book. Forgot to mention that. So you can see a long list of black characters in this book, and Herschel and I kind of saw this book kind of jump up in value when Black Key Comics mentioned it last year, and then a few other people jumped on the bandwagon, grabbed this book.
Yeah,
so now,
he casually mentioned it. He was like, he was like, yeah, I'll throw y'all this bone. And he casually mentioned it, but bro, everybody went out to this book after he said that, bro. You know, everybody knows when Rico speak, everybody listen, man. So everybody went out about this book. I think now you can get it for like what, 100, maybe.
if it shows up, if it shows up on eBay, then you probably pay 100 raw. And there's one that's been sitting on eBay for about $300, $299. Is a 9.6, but that's been sitting around for a while.
And the thing is, the older as the years go on, this book will just get a little bit more, I think, scarce. And the paper quality on this thing,
really good paper quality. Yeah.
Is really, and like listen, we're not trying to pump books. We already own a book on this book. So I'll say this, man, the paper quality on this puppy is immaculate as well. 10, 20 years from now, a lot of these characters you probably ain't gonna hear them back then. This might be the last appearance for some of these characters, but the mere fact, and this probably will never happen again. Because for us to come together sometimes to do stuff, it's almost like we pull a teeth. I'm gonna keep it real. So this is something to have. It's 1,500 copies. If it's a book that you got, hey, what are some books that I definitely gotta have this year? I would put this on and I would set eBay to watch. And I wouldn't really so much worry about comic book shop. If you ain't gonna find it there, you're gonna find it on eBay, maybe Mercari. You might get lucky or whatnot. But set up so that it gives you the notification so you can grab it, man. Because you're not gonna find nothing like this for a while.
Yeah, and remember to look for both covers, because somebody might not know what they have, and they might show, you know, the back cover is the front cover, for example. So make sure you know what both covers look like. All right.
All right.
Oh man, I got a lot about this. But I just found out that. Well, anyways, this is a Fantasy Illustrated number 6. This is not a comic book. All right, this is a fanzine, and what a fanzine is basically fans take maybe a well-known character, a character of their own, and they literally draw everything by hand. They go to a printer, and they print it off, and they put it. They just kind of mat it to a book, and they just kind of put it out there in the mainstream or underground or whatever. It's basically a fan-made comic. But way back in 1966, actually 1964, there was a character called the Black Phantom by Steve Perrine. I actually spoke with Steve several times during the pandemic. He just passed last year. Next slide. He's the first black superhero to ever have a sidekick, but not just a sidekick. The sidekick was white. This ain't something that you would try to put on sale on a rack or even put out on a fanzine, especially back in those days. And I think this was his name was Lafayette Jones. He had a cloak that could make him invisible, and then his gun had like a special ray. And the white dude that he was with was basically just a nomad, a wanderer that he happened to find just kind of hanging out. He was like, hey man, I want to hang out with you. And they fought against the Klan, and they kicked their ass. Next slide, I think I might have another picture. Nope, that's Doom Patrol. Go back. So really, really dope book. They actually are working on, or it should be. I gotta talk to John Jennings, but they actually, I think, have somebody came back behind Steve, recolored it, and they actually put it in comic book form. So this book, go back one more slide, came out in 1966 September. So this comes out after Black Panther. But it's a fanzine. It's a collection. It's an anthology. There's tons of different fanzines in there. And this was one of the books that was actually tucked away. If you want to read the entire story, it is online. But as far as buying this book, good luck, because it's a ghost. When it pops up, it pops up. It might pop up 2 or 3 times per year. Some people wanted to say that he was the first black superhero. He is not. He was the first black superhero in a fanzine. He's definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the first black superheroes with a sidekick, and definitely the first black superhero with a white sidekick. Even to this day, that's just not something that you see.
Hey, Herschel.
Yeah.
Quick. This does not denote like 10 cent or anything on it, does it?
Say again?
This doesn't have like 10 cent.
No.
How about, yeah, okay, so yeah, this would be a book that if it was out just out of the blue, and let's say a LCS get a collection or whatever, they would probably see this and not really know it unless they knew what it was. They wouldn't know what it is. It doesn't have the 10 cents, so that means that this is a book that you'll just have to kind of dig around and you may come across one.
I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not gonna find one. If you gotta go to the old school shop, or you gotta go to a place that just got this weird and crazy books in it, and a place where a guy hasn't really moved a lot of his back stock in years. You might be lucky. But in those shops, you literally have to do a lot of lifting, you're moving stuff out of the way, stepping on spiders to get to stuff, and you ain't trying to do all that. Your best bet for this stuff is to set your eBay for notifications. And guess what? Price wise, I mean, you're talking anywhere between $50 and $100 because people are buying this book just because it's an anthology. People aren't really buying this book because of the Black Phantom part. They don't really know what it is. But several people have this book in the community. But dope story. Like this was a must-have for me. Absolutely. So that's it.
All right.
If you could do a close-up, this is going back to the topic of if you can go to a picture to show me on screen. I showed that one book, War of the Independence #2. Which had a lot of black characters on the cover. We believe this is probably the mainstream comic that has the most black characters on the cover. So G-Man
said he has that. I figured if it's that right up his alley, that kind of stuff. The Fantasy Illustrated.
Oh yeah. So this is Black Panther #24. I'm pretty sure this is cover A, and you can see I think it's got at least 9 black characters on the cover and even more inside the book. So this is a very affordable book. You can get it for $4 or $5 right now. And once again, we believe it holds the title as having the most black covers on, or black characters on a mainstream comic cover.
Yeah, I mean that book right there. You can tell people that today, but they're not gonna really care now. Down the road, they're gonna be like, man, that was a dope book to have back in the day. And then people gonna try to go back out. That book will probably raise the value. Listen, real quick before we go to the next one. Rico show y'all Butterfly, the first black superhero? I think he did, right?
He did.
Okay. So we just found out, and most of you guys, a lot of probably your viewers know as well, the Savage Dragon number 260. You blow me up, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow you up right now.
The Savage Dragon number 263. We all know that she's public domain. Well, guess who shows up in her solo story in the back of this puppy? Butterfly. She's got like 3 or 4 pages. So if you don't have Butterfly, I'm not trying to say this is the next best thing. I know some people are like, well, you shouldn't say that. But hey, I'm gonna say it anyway. This is the next best thing. Go and grab her. Because she's public domain, you can put her anywhere you want in a comic book. But Savage Dragon 263, this was kind of hard to find in my comic book shop, but I believe it's because of that in the back of the book. But definitely go and pick that up, especially if you already have Butterfly. This is a nice companion piece to have with that because she hasn't been seen in the comic book since '73. So it's 2023, so it's nice to see her face again. Definitely 263 Savage Dragon. I'm not a Savage Dragon guy at all, but definitely go pick that one up.
All right.
All right. Showcase presents number 94, Doom Patrol. Not a fan of Doom Patrol at all. Think they're a weird team, but in Showcase number 94, you do have the first appearance of Tempest. Now, Tempest, a lot of people confused with I think Aquaman's son or cousin or relative or whatever. This is a black brother who can generate heat, a lot of power out of his hands. He also had the ability to fly. You didn't see a lot of black folks flying in the 70s. As a matter of fact, I believe the first black man that could fly in comics was Evan. That was written by Larry Fuller. I believe Black Key Comics shows y'all that as well. And yeah, I can't say anybody. So this is like probably the second person that can fly. 1977, we're getting almost into the 80s. He is currently dead. Next slide. So actually, I found out that he actually has appeared in media by this actor. I don't know if his name is here. Ballard. He plays him, and he doesn't really show any powers or anything. He's like a helper or whatever. But Joshua Clay is his real name, and he's actually dead. He died in '92. I think the actor to the right, I'm going to butcher his name. I think he would do a good job playing him if they were able to bring him back. But I just don't see James Gunn prioritizing a dead black dude nor Doom Patrol. But hey, we can all dream. Next slide. Yeah, so those are some more pictures of him. Doom Patrol, he's flying there with the team. Typically, when you see black characters, they're either bestial looking, really, really big. They're the muscle on the team. This guy wasn't smart. He was almost, I think he was like a genius level intelligence. He was just hot tempered, but he has like different powers, man. Other than electrical powers or superhuman strength, he actually has like a plasma heat powers that come out of his hand, and he can fly. So I thought that was deep and unique. And when people talk about DC characters, this guy never comes up. So that's why I felt like he would be good on this list as far as the characters.
Knock myself out of the chat. All right, here we go.
All right. Next up. So once again, this is not an obscure comic. Infinity Gauntlet #1, second print. First of all, this story deals with a nuclear black family who ends up getting becoming part of Nova Corps. They all get Nova Corps uniforms and powers, including their dog, which is kind of cool. But the reason why in the Black Comic Lords community we really hold up this specific book, the second print, is because it's the first cover appearance of a black superhero nuclear family. So by that we mean, a mother, a father, and one child at least. So this is just a great cover. I think the first print of this, of Infinity Gauntlet #1, has the Bachyan family on there too. However, it's not a clear picture. It's more of like a silhouette. So this is a good book. If you can find this, maybe grab, just because of the cover appearance, and the story is really good too. I would actually like to see somehow maybe they do a limited series on Disney Plus of Infinity Gauntlet. That could be some fun.
Man.
Yep. Oh, and one more page. This is just a little bit more about Black Comic Lords. Like I said, we focus on comics and creators and characters. We've really had a lot of interviews lately, and just wanted to share some of those here. So you can see about live shows on the left that we've had, and then on the right, some of the recent interviews that we've done. So most recent was Joe Illidge, but also we interviewed John Jennings, who's the writer of Silver Surfer Ghostlight, Eve Ewing, who's currently writing the Photon book and has just been announced as the writer for upcoming for the next Black Panther series, Cody Ziegler, who's writing Miles Morales Spider-Man, but also wrote Spider-Punk, and was also one of the writers for the She-Hulk show on Disney Plus. Another cool thing, if you haven't heard about this yet, there's a horror anthology written all by Black writers, and it's called Shook. That's going to be available. Target is mid-year, and we interviewed a few of the writers from Shook. Keep an eye on that. That's going to be a big deal, and this is the first of several in the series of Shook. We also interviewed Jeffrey Thorne from Milestone and Green Lantern, and Sebastian Jones from Stranger Comics. As you can see, what we're trying to do is just to give a platform for some of these creators to come and talk directly to the community, answer the community's questions about their work, and give them some flowers. So really good interviews.
I just want to say that the panel knows that I've been a huge supporter of Stranger Comics. I've shown a lot of books on here. I even had Sebastian on my channel. We did a interview during like 2 years ago on my channel, and it was a very fun interview, man. And he's an awesome guy to chat with, and he knows how to sell his product. That's one thing I love about Sebastian, that he sells his product very well, and he has a loyal audience, and I'm one of them.
Herschel, you for say something, brother?
Yeah. Just I hate to prolong this thing because I know y'all trying to keep time. But listen, there is one book that I think a lot of people don't. First Appearance of Black Panther, First Appearance of Nubia, some of the big boy Black Supers, but this is one book that you definitely need to get. I saw one today on my LCS for $15. It's a hard book to get in a nice grade. Like it's the paper quality of 70 suck. This is the first Black superhero for DC Comics. A lot of people argue with me down, but it is what it is. We'll get to Teen Titans number 26 is the first appearance of Miles Duckett. All right, this book is affordable. You can go and buy this book tonight and probably pay $30. You go get the little white lines. It's gonna be, but you can probably pay $100 and get a solid copy of it, and it's worth it. You're talking the first Black superhero for DC Comics. He also is the first Black character to have his own solo story at the end of a Teen Titans book with his own artist and own writer. So that's pretty significant as well. This is before they start doing it with Black Panther and everything. The biggest knock with Miles Duckett is that when he joined the Teen Titans, he didn't have any powers. They didn't even do a really good job of establishing him. And then he went through 3 different aliases. And so his character really never got fleshed out until like the 80s. But dope character, dope book to have. If you're like me, you want to have a first of this, first of that. This is definitely a book you got to have. And again, it's El Cheapo. So you ain't going to pay a whole lot of money. If you want to get a level above a reader's copy to where it's presentable, you don't have any stains on the back that the pages are there, this is a book to go and get.
Yep.
That was volume 1.
Volume 1, number 26.
And there's a question from Jacob in the chat about the Shock book. It should be available in comic stores because Second Sight Publishing, the company that's publishing this book, they are going to distribute this through the distributors that handle comic book stores, LCSs.
All right. Shaq Daddy, what's going on, brother?
Hey, I wanted to bring up. I saw the name Larry Stroman earlier on one of the slides, and any mention of Tribe?
it comes up a lot in our community. You know, we find it all over the place. So you know, that's a nice book. Everybody likes to have that, and there's some cool variant covers too.
Oh, but he's got like 7 or 8 of Tribe, different colors and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of those issues are hard to find as Tribe too.
yeah, they are.
Very rare.
Because I met the creators when I was very young, you know. Because I have I have the white cover signed by both of them,
Nice.
you know. And you know, this was when I was younger, so my we went to the panel, and I was like more like wanting to go back on the floor and see all the cool stuff. But it was interesting seeing Black creators talk about that book, and I still have my white copy, and it's still nice and tight top condition. And then you know, I found the black copy later on, you know, of issue number 1, you know, and I only got that in the second issue, and I didn't even know about the Axis run that they created their own label just to do 3 and 4. You know, I didn't find that out till years later. But I always thought that was interesting how, you know, it was a hot selling title for Image when it first launched, and then it just disappeared completely.
It was the highest at the time, highest selling comic book of all time. So several million copies. That's online. You can look that one up. I was like, what? And even to this day, you go to any LCS almost in America, and you're gonna find a Tribe in there somewhere.
So what happened? So why did it only do 3? Was it low demand, or is only planned for 3?
It's a mystery.
They created their own brand and Axis label in terms of publishing. They published issue 3, and that was about as far as they can go. I remember seeing somebody had issue 4, but I can't remember who it was. And I know I was always wondering, like, I was trying to find like issue 3 because I'm like, I got the first 2 issues, so I at least wanted to try and complete it. And that's even like, you could find issue number 1, but number 3 is like, forget about it. That's Ghost.
Awesome. Derek, Herschel, man, we want to say thank y'all for coming through, dropping that knowledge, man.
Oh yeah.
Always enjoy talking Black comics, man, with brothers. It's always good, man. Learn a couple of new things. So you don't know everything. You learn a few things tonight. Definitely gonna be looking for that Teen Titans. I know X wrote it down, so I'll get it. I'll make sure I get that information again. So I'll go. I know exactly where I can go grab that book at. And so, you know, I just want to say thank you, man, for taking out y'all Saturday evening to come join us tonight, man. And as always, man, our door is always open over here. Y'all always welcome over here to come and talk.
Likewise, back to us, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed having just a support system here for me as I'm recovering from Ant-Man.
Hey, yeah, man. This is therapy, brother. This is therapy over here, man.
Let it out up in here.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead here, and we're gonna head to the segment that a lot of people in the chat is waiting on as well. And here we go. All right. What you got there, Puff Daddy?
Not much. Not much at all, but I got this cool Patrick Ewing called The Chemical Focus. But
there you go.
It was gifted to me by Stone Cold Steve. Saquon Barkley card. Hopefully the Giants do something big next year. And Stone Cold.
Oh, that's tight. Yeah. Stone Cold from Stone Cold. Steve sent you that too?
Yep.
Stone Cold from Stone Cold.
And Cantonese Comic Kid, Jeff AOK'd me this to continue my Savage Sword of Conan run.
What's going on, Al Ron? How you doing, brother?
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it? All right.
Yep.
All right. X Daddy, coming your way, brother.
All right, so I got a different haul because I don't have any new books, but I showed this in our IG chat where I'm finishing up on a little paint job I did right here. This is my little favorite Injustice 2 skin. So I'm finishing up on this. Also, I did finish my little Hush figure that I Pete Frankenstein together. So pretty excited about it. It took 4 different figures to make right here. And the last thing I'll show, the little figure that I did of myself is coming along. So all of that should be done this week, especially with the news I got about next Saturday. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. I'm just sitting over here crafting away.
All right. Remo.
I only got 2 books this week. Got the Static Shadow of Dakota #1, the 1 in 24.
Hold on, man. What about that shirt you got on right there, man? That shirt you got on right there, man. That's Sphinx with the cigar. Yeah, that's it there, man. That's on time right there, man.
A little bit of Chemical Baby, you know what I'm saying?
That's that Kane variant.
Yeah, that's it.
The 1 in 25, Static. And then this came in the mail.
Oh,
Nice.
There you go. There you go. Yes, sir.
Had to go on the hunt.
That's a solid copy too, man.
You know, we'll see what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I just got it the other day. I got to pop it open still. So.
Nice. Derek, you want to show anything you got, brother?
Let's see. I recently picked this up. It's a Strange Academy 13. It's the unlucky variant. So
Nice.
yeah,
All right.
that's all I got.
All right. And then I've got a couple of things here.
I mean, y'all saw the way he jumped back in that chair just then.
Yeah, he ready, right? He ready to show out.
All right. I've got a Heat #1, 4-5. Pick that for. Ken Shannon, #1, had a little bit of rub there on the cover somewhere, but I was like, for $75, I picked this up. So, and then last but not least, we have Gold Label
Pedigree.
Promise Collection, Captain Marvel #1480.
That's nice.
Yeah, and this is a very tough book to come by, but I caught somebody slipping in the middle of the afternoon, and I think they left off a 0 on the price, but I didn't give them a chance to change it, so I went ahead and picked it up. So,
Promise Collection.
yep, Promise Collection.
Nice.
I am.
What did it?
What year is that?
11 a.m.
This is 1942.
42.
So awesome.
Did the auction end at 8 a.m. or 11?
No, man, it was a buy it now, man. It was a straight buy it now.
Wow.
And they had the price up that was way lower than I said. Oh man, I'm not even gonna give them a chance to realize what that was. So I went ahead and got it, man. So I got it. That was no, don't think about it, just grab it price there. So all right, well, cool, man. So Derek, tell everybody where they can find y'all here on YouTube. I know where they can find you at.
Yeah, just look up Black Comic Lords on YouTube. We also have an Instagram presence, Twitter, and then community on Facebook. So check us out there, Black Comic Lords, and all those places.
Yep, and it's a really cool group. You see a lot of cool stuff in there. Me and Larry, who's defending Ant-Man, we're both members of the Facebook group, and
Yeah,
so
it's gonna need a lot of defenders there, I think.
yeah.
He gonna need all the Canes to defend that.
You're gonna need She-Hulk to come represent him.
Oh shit!
Get him out of that mess.
twerking and all.
Yep. So awesome. Well, next week we're gonna be closing out our Black History Month, but like I said, we're gonna still do a lot of Black History stuff here on the channel. But next week we're gonna be talking hip hop music, So that's guaranteed to get some folks riled up.
So we not doing blaxploitation then.
Well, excuse me. I'm sorry. We are going to do blaxploitation because I keep forgetting we got what next week is last week of February, right?
Last week.
Okay, so no, we're going to do blaxploitation, and then when we come back off our break, we'll do hip hop. So, yeah, because he would look at show enough. Look at that. Look at Sean's face for the game. He was about to take me out, man.
Hey, we talking Dolomite next week, man. We gotta talk some blaxploitation after that.
Yep. Derek, if y'all into blaxploitation, Heavy, you welcome to come on and join the panel. That's all. That's gonna be a fun one. So,
all right, either me, might have somebody else from Black Comic Lords too.
So y'all come on over, man. That's all. That's gonna be a fun one. So,
all right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Comic Hall Crew. Remo, what you got? What you got coming up, man?
Shit, man, I got a long week. I'm glad I got Monday off, man. I'm about to sleep in and get ready for this hectic week, man. And then I'll be back at it, Friday night, Struck and Chat. Saturday night with the fellas in the Comic Hall Crew.
Yep. Puff, what you got? You got Silver Age Sundays tomorrow?
I don't know. It's up to Jeff if he wants to do it. If he don't do it, then I'll be on there. And if you
send me the link, man. He only sent me the link one time, and after that, I missed the second show. So,
all right,
tell him to send me a link.
All right, it's 11:30 East Coast time, 12:30. Y'all know how it go down. Y'all roll over there and hang out with G-Man at the Comic Book G Spot. Check him out. And on Fridays, you'll either see me or Puff over with Biggie Shack on Friday nights.
I jumped in late yesterday.
I tried to get on, man, but by the time I got home, y'all was just getting off. I think I just ended by the time I got ready.
Did you see the multiple endings that Biggie tried to do?
No, I missed the multiple endings. I missed the multiple endings. Yep. That's where they swing that weight on Friday night over there, man. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us once again. Black Comic Lords, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much, and we will catch y'all later on. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Care.